All right, here we go with the video on parallel lines and transversals. And now we're going to throw in some angle pairs as well. So to start, we're just going to work with two intersecting lines. Just call this guy 80 for fun. Now what I want you to think about is what are the measure of the other three angles? This is stuff that you've learned back in the day. So take a minute and think about what the other three angle measures are going to be. And I'm guessing one of the first things you thought of is the fact that vertical angles are congruent, so that guy is going to be 80. And then, if you remember, a linear pair is two angles that form a straight line, and those will always add up to 180 degrees. So this guy has to be 100, and same with this guy. So now we have all four angles. And now I want to talk about parallel lines. So to do that, what I would like to do is just copy this set that we have right here, and what we're going to do is we're going to paste them here, and I want to line them up as best as I can so it looks as if it's one connecting line. Okay, so you can see where I'm getting at. It's pretty close, but look what just happened. Since that is the exact same set of intersecting lines, then those guys are going to be parallel because they are running at the exact same rate because I just showed you they're a copy of one another. So why did I want to do that? Well, recently you learned about 5 different pairs of special types of angles that exist when you have two lines and a transversal. We had alternate interior, alternate exterior, corresponding, same side interior, and same side exterior. Now, when lines are parallel, those special kinds of angles have certain relationships. So let's take a look at alternate interior angles. Alternate interior angles, if we pick this, then the other one would be this guy right here. So we can see that alternate interior angles are going to have the same measure, so they're congruent. Now let's pick a set of alternate exterior angles. If we pick this guy at the top right, then our alternate exterior would be this guy at the bottom left. Again, we can see they have the exact same measure, so they are also congruent. Another one we talked about is corresponding. Corresponding are angles that are at the same spot on an intersection. So if we pick the top right of this intersection and the top right of this intersection, again, we can see they have the same measure. So they are congruent. And you can test these for multiple examples. So corresponding, let's pick another one. Let's pick top left. Top left is 100. The top left of this intersection is still 100. So it'll work every single time as long as these lines are parallel. Same side interior. So now we're going to switch gears a little bit. Here's an interior angle. The same side of the transversal, other interior, look, they are not congruent, but they are supplementary. So same side interior angles are going to be supplementary. And we can do the exact same thing for exterior angles. Those guys would be considered exterior angles. Again, they add up to 180. Okay, so it's really important to know which type of angles you have that are congruent versus supplementary. So once you have this memorized, doing the algebra is actually pretty easy. So alternate interior, alternate exterior, and corresponding angles will always be congruent. Same side interior and same side exterior will always be supplementary. Check that out. Pretty easy way to memorize that. Same side sup. So let's go try some algebra problems. What I want you to do for these two is think about solving for x and finding the measure of angle 1. So I'll step you through the first one step by step. And this is what I would do, is I would first think about what kind of angles are these. And since they're both interior angles, but they are on opposite sides of the transversal and on opposite parallel lines, then they are alternate interior. And as we just talked about it, alternate interior are going to be congruent. Congruent means they have the same measure. So to set this one up algebraically, we set them equal to each other. So 4x minus 20 is equal to 2x plus 10. Now all you have to do is solve this algebraically. So 2x is equal to 30, so x is equal to 15. Once you have 15, I'm asking you to find the measure of angle 1. So to do that, you substitute 15 into one of the angles you know. So we know that this guy is 4x minus 20. So 4 times 15 is 60, minus 20 is going to give you 40 degrees. So this angle is 40. Back in the day, you learned that vertical angles are congruent, so angle 1 is also 40 degrees. Okay? So why don't you think about number 2 for a minute? Ask yourself what kind of angles they are. If you asked yourself and said, what kind of angles are these? And said, same side exterior, you would be correct. They are on the same side of the transversal and both exterior. So same side exterior are supplementary. When they are supplementary, it means they add up to 180 degrees. So again, we'll step you through this one. Add these two together. So 4x minus 10 plus 6x minus 10 is equal to 180 degrees because they are supplementary. Fix this side up a little bit. You get 10x minus 20 is equal to 180. And just take it from there and solve. 10x is equal to 200. So x is equal to 20. Again, you take the value of x, substitute it into this expression right here. 4 times 20 is 80 minus 10. This angle is 60 degrees. Now, if you look at this, these are not vertical angles. These two angles are a linear pair. So if this is 60, then angle 1 has to be 120 degrees. Okay? So, you've seen me do 2 of them. I would like you to start with number 3 and give it a try. Once you're ready, click play, and we'll see if you did it correctly. So go ahead, pause, and give it a shot. If you got x equals 10 and the measure of angle 1 is 134, then you did this correctly. What you should have done is ask yourself what kind of angles they are. Since they're both on the bottom right of each intersection, they are corresponding angles, and corresponding are congruent. Set them equal to each other, solve for x, and you get 10. Once you substitute 10 into here, you'll get 50 minus 4, which is 46. And then this angle, these two angles are 46, but angle 1 is a linear pair with them. They're not congruent. So you subtract 46 from 180, and you end up with 134. Last one is a little challenge problem for you. It's very similar to number 1, 2, and 3, except for this time you're not finding the measure of angle 1. You're finding y after you solve for x. However, it's very, very similar to what you just did. You just have to take it one step further. So go ahead, pause the video, give it a try, click play when you're ready to see the play-by-play, and then we're done. Give it a shot. So the first thing you need to do is realize that these are same side interior angles, which means they're going to be supplementary. So we're just going to solve for x like any other problem. So we're going to add these together, and we get 8x plus 20 is equal to 180 because they're supplementary. So 8x is equal to 160, which means x is equal to 20. So we started out just like we did number 1, 2, and 3 by finding x. The next thing we're going to have to do is substitute x back in. So once we do that, we can substitute it in here, and we can get 65, or we can substitute it in here and get 115. It doesn't matter. But what you need to do is you need to find the value of this angle. So what is 7y minus 5 going to be equal to? So either way you want to do it is fine with me. You have a linear pair with 115. So it's going to be 65. Or you have alternate interior angles with 3x plus 5. Since alternate interior are congruent, it's still going to be 65. So no matter which way you look at it, 7y minus 5 is going to be equal to 65. So to solve for y, all you have to do is set 7y minus 5 equal to a 65-degree angle. 7y is equal to 70, so y is equal to 10. So if you got that, you did a phenomenal job. So that's it for parallel lines with transversals and the types of angle pairs that they create, and now the relationships they have. Remember, for doing all these algebra problems, knowing your angle pairs and whether or not they're congruent or supplementary is the most important part. After you have that down, it's as simple as setting a couple of things equal either to each other or adding them to 180 and solving for x. That's it for this video. This is Longo and I'm out. See you, bye.